My name is Fadi Bishara, and I'm the co-founder of Blackbox. Prior to Blackbox, 15 years ago, I started a company called Tech Venture, and Tech Venture helped a venture-backed software company here in Silicon Valley build their core teams. So I helped them recruit and hire usually the first 10, 20 people in the company. And a lot of these companies have done well and got acquired, and some of these entrepreneurs would come back and start another company and other businesses, and I help them again and bring investors and bring other key advisors to work with them. And Blackbox came about when I met with Bjorn and connected with the global network of sandbox of smart entrepreneurs, and we merged basically our efforts going for the same purpose of helping entrepreneurs by studying Blackbox and working on developing a scalable model that helps accelerate this process of finding co-founders, getting funding, getting the right resources. Because what we've realized, a lot of the things that entrepreneurs need in the initial stage usually is before the money, or more important than the money, is just a sense of focus and a direction and access to a lot of the resources that could be extremely valuable. So then we joined efforts with Max, who's been working on developing the science of building startups. This is based on his research of the customer development models and a lot of the other thought leaders and best practice people here in the Valley. And we came together to put basically a scientific model that would scale beyond just us helping people. So we figure out what are the resources and the directions and the advice that the entrepreneur needs, and we wanted to dissect them and break it down into a simple process so the entrepreneur could follow these steps and get what they wanted. And from there, basically, we kept digging down and deeper into the various variables and types of companies and how they start. And we launched the Startup Genome. The Startup Genome was basically to lay the grounds for putting the pieces for all the startups, all the businesses, how they grow. And what we've started with that initially was to make it available and to scale it with other partners globally. But then we realized that we could also put it into a software and develop it into a platform that helps lead the entrepreneur through the stages of development. So that's Blackbox. And then we got the Blackbox Mansion as a physical space that brings these people together. And that's been my vision, my goal for the past several years, is to have a common working place that has a more real feel to it than just the structure and of the office buildings and of the corporate work, where we bring the entrepreneurs together, and when they meet each other, although they could be from different domains and they're building different technologies, they could add a lot of value just by meeting each other and quizzing each other about what they're working on and asking intelligent questions. So that's proven to be very, very true and very effective to see people from biotech technologies working with people in software technologies and bringing into a different perspective and vice versa. And the Blackbox Mansion has become a very good model. A lot of countries, a lot of people, a lot of hubs around the world are interested in duplicating and recognize the value after they visit and stayed here, as how important and easy it is to create value when you bring all these smart people together. So that's where we're at right now. We're working with a few startups, and our model, different than any other startup, is any other accelerator, is we take entrepreneurs, although they might be individual people, and we don't necessarily look for a team and a prototype, but we believe in the potential of certain people, having worked with many in the valley and able to recognize the people who've done certain things that indicated that they can truly build successful ventures. We basically focus on working with them, with those types, and help them put all the pieces that they need to get the company off the ground.
So what do you think the secret sauce behind the Black Box Mansion has been? You know, how do you make sure that kind of entrepreneurs get some value out of it, and how do you make sure that the people who come here are actually, you know, high quality and persistent and willing to work hard and stuff like that?
Yeah. So you know, what was the first question? How do we?
So how do you just make sure that this is attractive for people? How do you get the best people here?
Oh, how do I get the best people here? Is then leveraging the network of the current contacts and entrepreneurs and serial entrepreneurs that we worked with, and it's been more of a referral model than us going out and advertising and attracting people. So that's been the results of combining the network of TechVenture and the Sandbox network, the global network, and the network that my co-founder Bjorn had with a startup school that he started as an online education platform. A big piece of it was dedicated to help entrepreneurs learn the various pieces that they need to learn. So that community has also connected with us, and basically we get these referrals. To determine how they good or not, it's really it's hard to describe it in binary questions. But there are certain traits and certain characters. The true entrepreneurs, the people that we believe that they have potential, they all share, and that's usually their most obvious in their relationship to what they're working on.
All right. So yeah.
So we kind of work with them to get a sense of what they're developing, what's their purpose, what's their long-term vision, and recognizing alignment between who they really are as a person and what they're trying to accomplish has been very, very clear indication of the people who have better potential than others. And it's those who are driven by solving certain problems or creating certain products that is coming from within themselves, that they have some kind of emotional attachment to it, and they have a sense of passion that they wanted to see this through, and they want to put their product out there. And that comes across sometimes in conversation. It comes across in people's language and how they refer to themselves, and you get a sense of who's got a good sense of leadership and who's got a good measures of accountabilities and responsibilities, versus the certain entrepreneurs who always they refer to other obstacles as as something beyond their measure or someone else's problems, and they try to blame and avoid responsibilities, what they need to do. So certain things about the human behavior that's kind of indicative about who really is the person, and that's the most important part. And it's not about how big is the market and how large is the product and how many millions of dollars this is. That's the least interesting part at this stage, because it's really my goal from the beginning is to help each person recognize that they are entrepreneur in themselves, and all they need to do is just recognize how they can create value by being who they are, is creating value based on consistent in what they believe in, and that value could be built on, and they could create a company based on that. So it's we work with people, and over a period of 2-3 weeks or a month, we get a better sense also about their dedication level and how they can deliver results and what they produce, and we commit to working with those who show those signs that we look for.
Okay. Do you have any greetings to the Finnish innovation ecosystem? as a whole in how to make kind of, trying to duplicate the Silicon Valley kind of way of thinking. How can government agencies and universities and these kind of people help in building a better ecosystem for entrepreneurship?
So I think the idea of duplicating Silicon Valley and in different part of the world, it's very daunting challenge, and it's not as easy as just bringing the resources. It's a mindset, and it's an environment, and it's an ecosystem that we have here. What would be the most useful, I believe, for different countries and different groups and different hubs is to bring their entrepreneurs into Silicon Valley to educate them on how the process and the speed and method and of how to build companies, and have them go back to the various hubs and implement the learning that they have and connect with the resources that they can connect with here in Silicon Valley that they may not be available in their countries. So I think the Finnish program is excellent. I think Krista is doing an excellent job, and I've seen very impressed with some of the companies that they've started working with, and now we've seen some of them from previous cycles that they've also successfully built products and raised money, and they're moving forward with it. So the approach is good, and the best way to do it, I mean, the method of duplicating it is, in the simplified version of it, is to bring the entrepreneur here, get the method, if you would, and the resources and the inspiration. They get to meet other people like them who have built and created big ventures, and that's inspiring. And that is the key that is important for different countries, is when such entrepreneurs comes here and learn these process and pieces and go back to Finland, let's say, and the ideal case for something like things to duplicate is such entrepreneur would create a company in Finland that would grow and hire hundreds of people or thousands of people and have a successful exit by going public or selling. And from there, it's typically most of the people who work at the company, the first 30, 50 people, they all have they have now first-hand experience of how companies are built. And they recognize that this is not beyond their abilities either. They've seen it, and they can recognize, like, I could have done it myself. And that's what generates the next generation of entrepreneurs. Those people go out and recognize what is their really passion, what problem they recognize they want to solve, and they go about building it. And the cycle have to be repeated. But the point is to see it firsthand, and it's hard to have it when entrepreneurs come from Europe here and they have a success in Silicon Valley. They may become popular back in their countries for their achievement here, but the people in their countries, although they could be inspired and motivated to do something similar, it's not as effective as had this success been in their country, and the people who were hired there have experienced from the start to a nice reward and the entire experience of the process and this long journey, and they go about doing it themselves.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Fadi, and the best of luck to your journey on finding the startup genome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure, my talk. Bye-bye.